Hi guys, it's Brady. So I was kind of continuing on the whole memory lane train thing, and I thought of the first couple kisses I got whenever I was a kid, which I'm pretty sure the first kiss I ever got was when I was 6. See, I had met this girl, and I'm not even sure, like, I can't remember. It's weird how memory comes in, like, flashes anymore, like, flashbacks. I don't even remember much of how we had really started this entire, like, a kindergarten relationship, but I do remember the first kiss I had was with, we're gonna call her Tiffany, which may or may not be her real name, you don't know. But I remember we would always like talk back and forth in class, but then one day we were sitting on the bus together and we both kind of looked at each other and we were like, totally just did that. Nobody else knew about it, but we totally just did that. So I guess that was kind of like even my first-ish girlfriend. Oh man, I didn't even think about this. Okay, so oh my god, she gave me her number, right? And we would call back and forth, like, you know, hey, is Brady home? Hey, is Tiffany home? But then I remember one day she, like, disappeared. Like, she like, abruptly moved, like, out of nowhere. I remember the teacher was just like, yeah, I gotta, like, email her homework to her mom or whatever. And I was like, huh, I wonder why. So I, like, go home and I dial up on my little phone and I'm just like, oh man, I wonder what happened to her. She can tell me what happened, and all I hear is the busy signal. And then the little telephone lady pops on and she's like, I'm sorry, this number has been disconnected. And I was just like, so that was kind of like my little Brady heart breaking. Like, oh, she's gone. There's no Facebook for me. There's like no Google or anything. Like I'll never find her again. And it was just like, it sat in. And I was just like, man, that really sucks. 3 days later, I was fine, but still, it was kind of rough. It was a little bit of a heartbreak for a couple of days. Wow, I can't believe I forgot about that. The second one was kind of like a couple years later. It ended up being with this other chick that we kind of dated for like years, but you know, kid dating, it's pretty much saying you're dating and saying that's my girlfriend and whatever. But we were kind of like a playground couple. Like everybody knew on the playground that we were like kind of into each other. Like we did a little smooch action on the side. But I remember the first time I ever kissed her was, I think it was on the playground, but I do believe it was under the monkey bars. And it was just more or less just because not a lot of kids played on the monkey bars before they got remodeled. Like they got all this new equipment after we were gone. It kind of sucks. But we had these lame monkey bars that were just the straight ones like that, and you just climbed across. But we had basically just did a little smooch under there, and then after that, nothing. It was just, we just said we were boyfriend and girlfriend. Everyone on the playground assumed we were, and we just kind of went with it. And then I remember a couple years later, we ended up we separating schools. Like she went to another school, and then we still like considered each other together. And then we ended up going to this one dance together. We had this really awkward dance where, you know, I hold her hips and she holds my shoulders, and we just kind of swing back and forth to a Coldplay song. It wasn't that great. It was just kind of awkward at the entire time. And then we never talked to each other again. So technically we never broke up. So I've a lot of splaining to do. This third one is so fucking stupid. So like in kindergarten, you have like a pre-kindergarten thing. It's like a little orientation day, and somehow this girl who is in my neighborhood, and I don't even think I knew of her. I think this is like more or less the first time I was like meeting her in earnest. So we, like, both our parents somehow went to this orientation. You had to like set up a date for this little orientation to like meet with the teacher, and then the parents get to walk around the classroom and kind of see what they're dealing with. And somehow my mom and my mom's friend, which they were friends at the time, they both must have planned it, or they both randomly were there. But I remember I met this girl there, and then we instantly like darted for the playhouse, and I don't even know how it happened, but I remember sitting there with my little cup of fake coffee and my little newspaper, and she went like right to the oven and started baking, and we just immediately played house. So that was my first time ever meeting her. But it wasn't until like I was probably 11 or 12. I remember we went to the same church, so we'd always like see each other every Sunday. She only lived like a walk's worth away from my house, just, you know, run over a bridge and then she's there. So we were basically pretty decent friends. But I remember like you have to like walk back to the back of my church to get to the bathroom. So she was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I was like, oh, I'm a follow too. So like I was, she's probably just like, oh yeah, he's probably just gonna wait outside the door, and like she goes in, and then I go in too, and then wow, this is turning real pedo, but I like go in and I like shut the door, and I'm just like, let's kiss. And she just turns around and she's just like, okay. And then it was literally just like, and I'm like, got what I wanted, girl. Exit the bathroom. Never. And we never spoke of it again. And I'm very good friends with her. And we never, at least I'm not bringing it up, but we never speak of that again. The fourth girl. Oh man, this is sounding really bad. Not really. The fourth girl that I ended up getting with was an actual like girlfriend. Like we said, we were girlfriend and boyfriend. We hung out at each other's houses. We went to movies. We went to all that. We did it for a little bit. A month. But it was pretty much like my first official girlfriend. And my first, like, I remember the first time I kissed her was like 2 weeks into our relationship. And we like went to the movies, and I was just like watching the movie, and then she would always like give me these little hints, she'd like sit there and like hold a stare for a little bit longer than usual, and I'm just like, I wonder what's on my face that she keeps looking at. Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? A lot of real estate here to be looking at. A lot of real estate in a shitty neighborhood. But we were just at the movies, and I remember the first time I just looked over and I was just like, oh, I know what she wants. And it was pretty much that. It was like, so good. Like, it was just best memory. But it was the first time it was like fireworks, I was just like, oh my god, like, yeah, that just happened. That was really freaking cool. And then we did it a lot more. And then a month went by, and then we broke up. So yeah, that worked. The other one was like, I don't understand, like, these random, like, I'm like guerrilla warfare when it's coming to kisses now that I'm thinking about it. I just kiss and I bolt. So this other one was at, a girl who is a grade above me. I know, a grade above. But she was a grade above me, and I was in all the band and stuff, so I had to naturally go to the graduation every single year to play. So I was at her graduation, and like we all got out, we were all about to go home, and I'm like, yay, graduation. She turns to me, I turn to her, and I'm just like, and then we both were like, okay. And then we didn't talk for 3 months. And she's like, why didn't you text me? And I'm like, phones work both ways. And I have no idea why I even did it. I was like, yeah, graduation. And then, yeah, about 3 months later, she was like, so why did you kiss me? And I was like, I'm glad you asked. I have absolutely no idea. But I did it. And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I did it. I'm pretty sure the last one was not even really like anything. It was kind of like opposite gorilla thing, like I go in and then, go away. But, I guess it was sort of planned. One of my coworkers like took me back into the back room of the kitchen part of the restaurant and covered my eyes, and I was like, oh boy, what's the surprise gonna be? I was very unentertained at that point because I was trying to close, but he had me back there, covered my eyes, and then the next thing I know was and I was like, what? My female coworker was right in front of me, and I was like, oh, okay. I still gotta close though. Like we got a lot of work to do. Nothing's cleaned, but thanks. That was like, I don't know if that was the most awkward one. I don't know. The graduation one was pretty weird. Like I don't even know why I did it. But then I guess the blindfold deal kind of made it a little bit more 50 Shades, a little bit more seductive, a little more into it. But all in all, that was pretty much my first couple kisses, and I'm realizing now that they were all awful, except the one that I actually had a girlfriend with. She was very cool. I'm very cool with her now, and I'm cool with like all of them, except the one that disappeared, and except the other one that disappeared. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what they're like, but I'm sure. All in all, I'm pretty sure we've had a lot of fun stuff in our lives, so this just happened to be a little smidge of me not being smooth at all. But that's all I had for this one, and I don't really know what the next one's gonna be, so until the next one, Jana.